Hi everybody, it is Miss Knudsen, and today I am here to solve an order of operations problem with the help of the acronym of PEMDAS. So when I write the acronym of PEMDAS on my paper, I know that P stands for parentheses within a problem, and that means that there is a given amount of information within the parentheses that I'll need to solve for an answer. An exponent is when you have a value and it is squared or cubed. So you'll have that little number next to your larger value. So that would be 4 squared. So that would actually be 4 times 4. The multiplication and division, they can be represented by a multiplication sign or a number within a parentheses and a number next to it. Division is represented by a division sign or a value with a bar separating another value. I put a box next to this because when we talk about PEMDAS, we have to understand that when you move from left to right, which is very important, if you see a division or a multiplication sign, you would solve whatever you see comes first as you move from left to right. I know some of us have an understanding that if you are moving from left to right, you have to solve your multiplication problem first, and we really want to clarify that that's not the case. If you see a division problem moving from left to right before a multiplication problem, you would actually go ahead and solve that division problem first, and I'll be showing you an example of that. The same rule applies for your addition and subtraction. Addition is represented by a plus sign, and then subtraction is represented by a minus sign. Same rule applies when you're moving from left to right. If you see a subtraction sign before an addition sign, you would do your subtraction first. So just keep in mind that these two steps, they can be interchangeably with the operation that you see. So I have been given a problem with positive and negative values. It's quite long. So I have -4 minus 32 divided by 8 times 2 minus 3 parentheses -6 plus 10. Okay. So this is pretty extensive. You have a number of functions going on within PEMDAS, but really what I'm going to remember is that I'm moving from left to right and I'm following the order of operations, my steps. So when you talk about parentheses, I made the difference and the distinction between the two. When you have a single number in a parentheses butted up to another number, this is actually the multiplication step. It is not considered the P in PEMDAS because there's no work for me to do actually in this parentheses. This would be a really prime example of parentheses in the PEMDAS step because there's something for me to do within this problem. So -6 plus 10, I have opposite signs. I'm going to subtract and keep the sign of the larger number, would give me +4. And a really great strategy and something that all mathematicians, no matter how high or low their skills are, they rewrite the problem and it usually leads them to higher chances of success. So I've gone ahead and I've solved the P in PEMDAS. That parentheses is now gone. Check off. I don't see any exponents in my problem, so I'm going to just go ahead and check that one off and move on to the next step. Now we have multiplication and division, and as I mentioned, as long as you move from left to right, you will solve whichever division or multiplication problem comes first. So if I use my pencil and I scroll over, the first sign I see is the division sign. So I'm going to go ahead and solve 32 divided by 8, which is 4. And I bring down, so I basically solved this, so that is out of the picture. And I bring down the rest of the problem, including this subtraction or negative sign, okay? Whichever you consider it to be now, you need to bring it down because it'll give you the information you need to continue to solve this correctly. Now again, I do see a parentheses, but I see 2 sets. So I'm just going to move from left to right again. And I'm going to solve this problem, 4 times 2, which is 8. Bring down the rest of my problem, including signs. And I'm going to follow the same steps again. Moving from left to right, I see another multiplication problem. 3 times 4 is 12. I bring down the rest of my problem. And now I just have a really long line of subtraction signs. So what I'm going to do is, moving from left to right, solve my first set of subtraction signs. This would be -4 minus 8. When we do subtraction problems, we always remember keep, change, opposite. This is for subtraction only. I keep my -4, I change the minus to a plus sign, and the +8 turns into a -8. So I end up with -4 plus -8, and it gives me -12. I bring down the rest of my problem. Then I say to myself, -12 minus 12. I have to keep, change, opposite. So I keep my -12 plus keep, change, opposite. -12 plus -12. I keep my negative sign and I do my adding, and that's -24. If this is confusing to you, the fact that you have two negative numbers but you're adding them, think about money. If I owe you $12 last week and I owe you another $12 this week, I owe you a total of $24. So here was our first example of order of operations using PEMDAS as a support. I will be posting more problems and more videos, so please, if you have any questions, come see me in the building or Miss Almeida, and good luck with your practice questions at home. Thank you. Bye-bye.